Hey, so I know I can't you do slideshow on this, but this is the best plan for Mensa recruitment. And I want Mensans to watch this. I know this seems pretty unprofessional, but just hear me out, all right? I'm a 20-year-old Mensan. I'm in ISPE as well, and I've noticed that membership has been falling quite a bit. I know that there are some shenanigans in the national level, although I'm not going to take sides. I'm not going to talk about it. So as far as I know, American membership, Mensa membership has stagnated. So here is my plan to increase membership rates in American Mensa. If we did this, and I want you all to share this to all the other Mensans possible, and let's try to reach the the committee, the AMC, and the national office staff with this idea that and let's start developing this idea. So this is my idea. So to increase membership rates, the answer is simple: computer adaptive testing from home with video proctoring, and we could have simple web advertisements to try to promote it. This would vastly increase Mensa membership rates. So why do I say that this is a good idea? So it's much easier to do. You don't have to go to a testing center. If you're in a rural area, testing centers could be hours away, even in another Mensa group. It's arguably much more secure than the admissions tests that we're already given. So in a 2022 article, um, the one of the Mensa psychometricians said that the two tests that Mensa administers are the rate and the Wonderlic. The problem is that these tests always have a chance of being leaked. But if a psychometrician or a couple psychometricians got together, or psychologists, which our group definitely has the resources to do, created a psychological test that had random test answer bank with computer adaptive testing, then it would be a lot more secure than a already established test that could be leaked on the internet. So that's why I say it's arguably more secure than the tests that we give out today. Um, People that like taking IQ tests nowadays do it online. So, you have a lot of people that go on and they're like, free online IQ test or whatever. And I know that not a lot of these people are the brightest that do this, that think that their scores are valid. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of the young generation likes taking Mensa Norway or Mensa Finland tests, practice tests, that the group psychometricians create. And if we had this test available at home with video proctoring, young people would be taking this test at at a we would see a substantial increase in the amount of tests that would be requested, instead of having to go to a testing facility and pay substantial amounts of money to take it. You could potentially do it at a lower price. You could and you would get a lot more like young members in the group, because I'm 20, and from what I can tell in the Gen Z group, they don't want to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go out and take a standardized test. And the new age that we're in, they like taking things online. Again, Mensa Norway practice tests, Mensa Finland practice tests. So again, I emphasize this: if American Mensa went out and got a few psychologists or worked with Mensa International on their computer adaptive test, and they created this test, membership would simply explode. And we would have no problem with declining or stagnating membership. So um, it would give people an opportunity to take a normed and psychologically valid test in an online virtual meeting session. Online proctored standardized tests are becoming more of a thing as time goes on. And I think Mensa is kind of a laggard when it comes to this. And I think it's time that we start having our society um, transition to a new age of testing, which would be digital online testing with secure conditions. Computer adaptive testing has been shown to be more accurate in determining IQ, and it gives people more chances if they accidentally score an easy level question wrong. So let's say that IQ is determined by how hard you can solve the problems, right? And you get an easy question wrong, but you're very high ability level. Um, on like a linear test, that would cause quite a dip. But if you were able to, if Mensa tests gave you the ability to be able to recover those points and venture into the 98th percentile territory, then that would be somebody that um, that would be basically a false negative case where they didn't test in the 98th percentile, but they were supposed to. It would prevent it if we had computer adaptive testing, which is what Mensa International is already doing. I've talked with office staff, and they said there's no plans for computer adaptive testing coming out for the future. And I'm telling you guys that this needs to be incorporated at some point, because if not, we could have serious problems with membership in the future. And I'm telling you, this is what young people want to see. They want to see these tests administered where they can take it at home in a secure environment for a fair price, and you could advertise this online, and then they qualify, right? This would be a massive incentive. And of course, those that score only in the 98th percentile or above would qualify. If there are multiple sections, then perhaps only one score in the 98th percentile or above would be needed. So with the rate, if you go to submit past scores, you will see that you only, and I talked on the office staff about this, you only need 98th percentile in one of 5 sections to qualify. So this could be the same thing if there were multiple sections on this computer adaptive test, which there should be, to give people some chances to get in on different abilities, then we could have only one of those score categories has to be at the 98th percentile. Now, I believe that American Mensa cannot release test scores, so all they would have to do is say, you have qualified, right? They don't need to give out, because Texas, I think the state of Texas does not allow them to give out IQ scores. So, all that would be needed is a score in the 98th percentile, and testers would know if they've qualified, and that's the only thing they would figure out from it, because there's nothing we can really do to get around that obstacle. So all that's required is a randomized test bank to ensure that no online test leaks are possible. This would be with eye trackers, video cameras turned on, and digital proctoring to ensure valid testing, as well as perhaps a lockdown browser so they can't switch tabs. If we did this, membership in Mensa would explode, and honestly, there would be no more stagnation. If we did a little bit of online advertising, and we did have an online test, adaptive tests that people could do from their homes, membership, especially young people membership, would explode. Testing would be more secure, and we would have more young people joining that are in that intellectually gifted top 2%, 98th percentile ability. We could also begin allowing, well, I spelled this wrong here. We could also begin allowing video proctored assessment of official IQ tests to be accepted. They may already do this, but we should emphasize that with proper testing security virtually and a score within the 98th percentile, that these prospective status members should become fully integrate, full members within the society. So thank you, and share this to the other Mensans, and try to share this to the national office so I can get so we could get some attention on it. It might be costly, it might be expensive, but I honestly think that this is a good idea, and if we could implement somewhat of a plan like this, then membership would explode among young people, and we would have a fantastic, large national Mensa group. Thank you.